Hi guys, it's Linda and welcome back to my channel. Today I wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about writing. I know this video would have a very niche audience. There's not very many people out there, at least not that I'm aware of aspiring authors on YouTube, but I figured I would come on here and talk to you guys a little bit about my experience in writing and the plan that I've kind of set up for myself. So last week or the week before I started really committing to my writing, I had this kind of realization that if I keep telling people I want to be an author but do nothing about it, that is never going to happen, basically. So I decided that I needed to fully commit to my writing. I needed to just forget about the stuff that's distracting me right now, any other kind of like small side hobbies that are just taking up my attention that I never plan on getting really good at, because I would rather be really good at a few things than be kind of okay at a lot of things. Like I consider myself a jack of all trades. I love doing so many different things, but the ones that I actually want to make a career out of or a living off of, those are the ones that I need to fully commit to and to put all my attention into. So writing is definitely the one at the top of my list right now. I know I've mentioned it briefly in passing that I want to be a writer. Writing stories and coming up with ideas and designing characters and those kinds of things have been something that I have been doing since I was basically 10 years old. I wrote my very first story when I was 8, if I'm not wrong. I actually have it on my shelf right here. And I was obsessed with horses when I was, oh actually no, I wrote this when I was 11, but I was obsessed with horses back when I was younger, and I even put it into like this little folder with this little collage, and I just put on there Linda Weeb's storybook, and I had like a little Canadian sticker and everything, like different things that I loved at the time. So it was like music, which hasn't changed, horses and skating, and like a nice sweater apparently or something. I don't know what I was doing with this, but anyways, this is where I wrote my first story in, and being so incredibly obsessed with horses. It was of course about horses, and it was about, I haven't even read this, but I haven't read this recently, but something about their horses, like these girls that lost their ponies or something and they had to go find them. I don't know, I need to read this again, but it was a silly little story that I wrote. And then when I was a little bit older, I think like 15, I would say, maybe like between 13 and 15, I can't remember exactly what grade it was in, that I wrote my first like real story, which I actually have here as well. And I called it The Jewel Box, and it was a good idea. But my problem was that I very much was inspired by like movies and stories that I had read before that, so it's a mix and match of different characters from like different stories and names that I stole from different movies and all that kind of stuff. But it was a story that I'm actually very proud of, and that one's right here in this little book. It came in 2 parts, and the reason I wrote it was in school we were done our work for something and we had some free time, so our teacher told us to write a story, and so I did, and we were gonna read them in front of the class, and the people, like my classmates, really enjoyed my story, and they I didn't get to reading the second part during that period, but they all told me like, oh, you know, I want to read the rest of the story because I want to see how it ends. I was just like, oh, I felt so proud of myself, and ever since then basically is where I was like, hey, you know what? I want to be a writer, and I have so many stories in my head. My story ideas notebook, which is in a different room, is just filled with ideas, and I've mentioned it in a video in the past. I can't remember which one it is, but I know I've mentioned it, that writing is something I want to do and something that I want to pursue. So yeah, basically, long ramble short, this video is going to be rambly, but I hope you guys don't mind. But long ramble short basically is that I want to commit my time to writing now and develop a plan that I can follow to reach my goals, so that I am not just saying I want to be a writer and never doing anything about it. So last week or the week before, I started again, and a friend of mine on book Instagram, her name is Jen, and I'll put her Instagram handle right here. She is an absolute sweetheart. You guys should definitely go check out her beautiful, beautiful page. she told me about this amazing website called pacemaker.press. Put the website right here, and I'll put a link in the description below if you guys want to check it out for yourself. But basically what you can do on that website is customize a plan that is specific for you. You put in the amount of words you want to write, or amount of chapters, or whatever. They have it completely like different units you can do basically, and then you can put in the date you want it finished by, and then it actually has like a little calendar area that it shows you exactly how many words you need to write per day to reach that goal by that certain time that you want to finish it. And it's been amazing for me already. I am a major list person. I like making out lists and then being able to check things off. I'm like a Monica from Friends, but honestly, like, that has helped me so much to be able to go back at the end of a day of writing and put in the amount of words I wrote per day, and if I exceeded that goal, it just makes me feel so good. And by exceeding the goal, which I have been most of the days so far, you're also going to be able to finish your book faster too. But then also you have that deadline. Like, okay, like for me, what I put my goal as is 100,000 words, which is roughly how long I think the book will be, but I'm not like staying just to that. If it's more or less, I'm gonna, you know, kind of judge it by what I think it needs to be. But I'm gonna do 100,000 words by the end of this year, so December 31st is the deadline that I have for myself, and I think I'm gonna make it, and that makes me so excited to know that I'll be able to finish a book this year, which is something I've had on my goals for a long time but never really did anything about, and it's just, it makes me so happy to know that I'll be able to do that. So the first draft will be hopefully, like, fingers crossed, done by the end of this year. But then of course after that comes all the editing and like the second, third, fourth draft, whatever, how many drafts there's gonna be. But at least then it'll be there, the entire first book will be there, and it's gonna be awesome, and I am so excited for that. The program that I've actually been using is called Scrivener, and I know if any of you out there are writing, you'll have heard about this program, but if not, again, I'll add a link in the description below. I am on the 30-day trial right now. I, again, was told about this program by my friend Jen, and she doesn't use it herself, but she had heard about it, and she told me that I should check it out if that was something that I'd be interested in. And they have a 30-day free trial, which is amazing, where it gives you the entire program as if it was yours already. So it has all the tools, all the formats, everything that you would need all in one, so you can see if that's something that you would want to use. And I already know, I knew within the first few days that this was something that I wanted to purchase after the trial, because it is just so perfectly tailored for any writers out there. If you are interested in writing, or even just, you know, write short stories or anything like that, you should definitely check out this program. And it gives you the entire format for anything that you might need, either a paperback novel, a manuscript, an ebook. It gives you all the tips and the tools that you would need to publish in either of those three formats. It's just absolutely amazing. I would highly recommend you checking that out. So yeah, basically I have been using Scrivener and pacemaker.press, and those two tools have been helping me tremendously over, like, even just these past like 2-ish weeks that it's been. And I'm just so excited to go forward and to see what I can do with this. And yeah, so that's basically it. Now, about my story a little bit, it is going to be a historical fiction trilogy. Maybe if I can fit it into 2 books, I might make it into 2, but at this point I think it's most likely going to be a trilogy. And it's going to be historical fiction about pirates in the 16th and 17th centuries. I am a huge fan of pirates. I love Pirates of the Caribbean. I love learning about pirates back in the day, and it's just that life just fascinates me like crazy. And so I decided it'd be fun to kind of write a story about it. And I remember when I first came up with the story, it was on June 29th of 2015, if I'm not wrong. 2015, 2014, around there. But anyways, when I first came up with this story, I was so psyched about it. Like, I was so excited about this story, because as soon as I started getting like an idea for it, just the thoughts and like the plan and the plot and the characters, it just all started falling into place. It was just one of those stories, and probably the only one out of all of the ideas that I've ever come up with that has felt so right that it needed to be written. I'm just like, yes, this is gonna be my baby, and it is gonna be out there for everyone else to enjoy one day. And it makes me so excited. My characters, they're like my children. They are so dear to me, and And anyone I've ever told about this story, and I've talked about it briefly on like book Instagram and things like that, they say that anyone that I've ever told about it is so excited to read it, and they say how good of an idea it is, and that really helps me a lot to be motivated and to be inspired to continue. And I'm so excited to see where this story will take me, and I have so many other ideas as well, but this is the one that hopefully will, you know, set the bar for myself, that like this is the one I want to look back on and be the most proud of, and the first one that I publish or whatever, right? So I'm super excited about it. If you guys want me to talk more in depth about the story, or kind of like my style of writing or the thought process for writing or anything like that, let me know. Give this video a thumbs up if you like it, so I know to make more of these kinds of videos in the future. But yeah, so honestly, I didn't want to make this video too very long. I know it's probably going to be pretty lengthy as it is, but yeah, so I'm super excited to see where this will take me and to actually have a plan and to go forward and to see what this plan will do for me. But yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed this video. And if you're not writers, then I hope you just enjoyed listening to me talk or seeing my face or whatever, but I'm really hoping to keep up more with my YouTube channel. It's quite difficult for me to find the time to make videos and to edit them, especially when I want to be writing and everything in between, but I'll figure it out. If it's like every 2 weeks or once a month, so be it, but it's just something that I enjoy doing and I like giving you guys updates too if you care about them. But anyway, that is everything for today. I will stop rambling. So thank you guys so much for watching. Never stop dreaming or shooting for the stars, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!